And this is Spiked Up.
Welcome to Spiked Up.
Welcome to Spiked Up.
Welcome to Spiked Up.
Hey there, Colorado track and field fans. Welcome to this week's edition of Spiked Up. As always, I'm Bobby Reyes, and I'm going to be your host. Now, as always, before we get going, let's give a huge shout out to our sponsor, the Niwot Market.
Childhood living is easy to do. Things that you wanted, I bought them for you. Graceless lady, you know who I am. You know I can't let you slip through my hands. Wild horses couldn't drag me away.
All right, so for this week's edition of Spiked Up, I mentioned this last week, we're going to be doing a bit more of like a Colorado alumni report here because as I mentioned last week, a handful of Colorado athletes are competing or did compete at the NCAA Outdoor National Championships in Eugene, Oregon this past weekend. Some incredible performances, tons of podium finishes. So let's dive into this. Starting with the women's 1500 meter, Steamboat Springs alumni Maggie Condon, currently running for Northern Arizona. She runs 4:09:31 to finish third here. This race was won by Washington's Sophia O'Sullivan, who ran 4:07:94. And per a theme that you hear me talk about multiple times on this week's podcast is that crazy kick finishes, per the usual for championship style races. 7 women ran 4:10 or faster in this race. Wild kick finish per the usual. I mean, again, you're looking at Maggie running 4:09:31, finishes third, meaning there's 4 other girls right behind her within a second. That's how close this race was. And you'll hear me say this again as I move through some of these other events. Moving along the women's triple jump, Mullen alumni Agor Dwal from competing for University of Oklahoma finishes third here, 45.2 1/4. She, if you remember her, she is the Colorado State record holder. A handful of years ago, she went 42.5 1/2 for the Colorado State record. Third here at the NCAA National Championships. Obviously, she has climbed the mountain to the top here in the triple jump. Moving along to the women's pole vault, this is a really exciting performance here. South Dakota State Anna Willis, freshman, formerly of the Classical Academy, clears 14.6 3/4. And this is another tight event as well. This pole vault was won by Washington's Hannah Mall, who cleared 15.8 1/2. That's a new collegiate record. And what's even exciting about that performance is that it beat her twin sister, Amanda Mall's former record of 15.8 1/4. Hannah was the only pole vaulter over 15 feet. But again, going back to Anna Willis here, freshman, coming in and finishing fourth. That's exciting for the coming years for her career. All right, moving along to the men's 10,000, it was sort of like an end of an era here, at least in reference to distance running. Like the 1500s, super tactical race, wild kick finish. Leading Colorado was Furman's Dylan Schubert, formerly of Thompson Valley. He finished 7th here, runs 29:11. A few seconds behind him, Stanford's Cole Sprout, formerly of Valor, 29:18 for 12th. This race was won by New Mexico's Ishmael Kakuri, who ran 29:07. So again, if you want to, we're going to go look back on these times. 29:07 wins it 29:11 is 7th. 4 seconds separating a national title from a 7th place finish. And I know I did hear Dylan in an interview afterwards. I know he was a little bit disappointed because he comes close so many times to winning a national title and to be 4 seconds out of it. But still an incredible performance for both guys, capping their collegiate careers here at the NCAA National Championships. Moving along to the men's 1500, again, another crazy wild finish here. This one was, if you watched it, insanely slow. It's slow in the terms of, at least for the first, let's say 1,000 meters or so. Wild finish, like I've mentioned many times, super slow pace. And for Colorado, we had Princeton's Harrison Witt, formerly of Mountain Vista. He finishes 10th here in 3:47.92. Now, remember when I said 3:47.92 finished 10th? Because this race was won by Washington's Nathan Green, who ran 3:47.26. That means in the top 11 finishers all finished within the same second. That's how tight of a race this was. And on the kind of looking a little bit back on Nathan Green's victory, that's what's kind of incredible with this one in terms of a program perspective, is that an athlete from Washington has won this event for the last 4 consecutive years. So kind of a pretty crazy stat there. But going back to Harrison's performance, 3:47.92, that close to winning a national title. Still great finish, great kick finish. So those are the highlights coming out from NCAAs for Colorado athletes, but we still have a handful of meets moving forward. Up next, we've got NCAA Outdoor Nationals. Ton of Colorado high schoolers will be there at that meet. We'll have some content coming out of that event as well. Before we get going, once again, huge thanks to our sponsors, the Niwot Market. For those of you who do not have July the 4th plans, do not forget the Niwot Mile is coming up. Net downhill course. Money prizes for the top 3 open and individual and masters. Pancake breakfast afterwards, parades, a whole shebang thing going down in Niwot on July the 4th. So mark your calendars, July 4th. Niwot Mile is literally going down. And so that about wraps up this week's edition of Spiked Up. As always, I'll see you on the track.
Doing it all for you, my Lewis. I'm just getting started. Doing it all for you, my Lewis. So I show you spot.